What's up, guys? Welcome to 8 Count.
Today we're going to be talking about the social media side of boxing and YouTubers getting into the scene of boxing. So, Sajid,
Yes.
I've got a few things to talk about today.
Go ahead.
And Sajid wasn't really with it with the YouTube scene, right? When they got into the boxing side of things. I remember we took him to the KSI Logan 1 fight in Manchester, right?
Yeah, Manchester.
We took him there. So obviously he's more of the, let's say, the purest side of boxing. So he knows about the professional side. And then we took him to this white collar boxing event, and it was the biggest white collar boxing event in history.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about the origins of it, right? So KSI versus Joe Weller, that's where it all started from.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got into KSI Logan 1. That's where we saw Jake Paul's debut as well versus Deji. That fight was interesting because Jake Paul obviously beat him, but it wasn't convincing.
What, in Jake Paul vs Deji?
Yeah.
I think you have to realise that
It was their first fights.
Yeah, these guys, they're not fighters, if that makes sense. Well, you could probably say like Jake Paul's a fighter now.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a fighter now.
But especially Deji, having like 8 weeks training, or I don't know how many weeks training they had.
Yeah.
So obviously the first event, but it's quite outstanding to see how like Jake Paul's come from that fight now.
Yeah, no, he's come like levels above a lot of these fighters that are on these cards now. But yeah, like fair play to Jake Paul where he's come from. Deji held a loss in that fight, and then he fought further down the line. But the next event after that was KSI versus Logan 2.
Yeah.
That one was massive.
That was massive.
KSI won on points. Again, a big fight. They went professional for that fight. So that was the first professional YouTuber fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got into, I think it was Social Knockout 1. So that one was like the Middle Eastern one. So that's when they went to Dubai.
Oh, yeah. So like Adam Saleh and stuff.
Yeah, Adam Saleh. They had Money Kicks. They had Slim.
Which
I think that's his name.
wasn't Money Kick supposed to be fighting? I mean, Mayweather soon. But
yeah. There was talks of that as well. Then it went to Social Gloves. The timelines I don't know, but these are kind of where it was. Social Gloves, which was YouTubers versus TikTokers. Yeah. And then that's where we saw Deji take his second fight, and he got destroyed. Yeah. Everyone expected him to like come out and do bits. He came dressed as Tyson for his ring walk.
Well, there you go. I mean,
like, do you know the classic Tyson where he wore the poncho style thing, and he got peppered?
Yeah. And
when Gibb came out in that fight, he did bits. After that, we had, I'm pretty sure Gibb fought Jake.
Yeah.
That was their first professional fight.
Which you got knocked out in the first round.
Was it? No, I think it was second.
I think it was the first.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Jake did bits. From there, people kind of saw, okay, Jake was...
Yeah,
he stepped up a bit.
He stepped up a bit.
And then we had Social Knockout 2, which was, again, the Middle Eastern one again. It was a bit dead, I can't lie. But now there's talks of Money Kicks fighting Mayweather. Logan fought Mayweather too. Don't forget that.
Don't forget. I think...
It was a draw as well.
I think in terms of all these events that the social media, I mean the YouTubers and the TikToks are boxing, I think it would be rightly so to say that Jake Paul's kind of holding it down.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I mean, like Deji, like you just said that how he came out. I think there's a difference being a fighter and then trying to be a fighter, if that makes sense.
Well, this is what they say, like you can't cheat boxing, right? Yeah, you'll be exposed on the day.
Mm-hmm.
You can have natural strength and power, but if somebody who you're fighting has been training, he will beat you.
But like the questions you probably know better than me is that obviously they've just announced this card like Deji vs Alex Wasabi. He's like a YouTuber. Yeah. What is the motive of Deji coming back for the third fight? Like,
so I think what he's saying is it's like it's now or never.
But like, what does he want to get to, like Jake Paul's level, or
I don't think it's even like getting to Jake Paul's level. But it's like when he lost to the last guy who was called Vinny Hacker, who's a TikToker, and no one. I don't think anybody in the world expected him to even put a dent in that fight.
Yeah.
But he came out and every round he did work on him. So when that happened and he lost, like unanimously, like there was no questions about it.
Yeah.
People questioned him, like because they saw in the first camp, where he fought Jake.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he had the same trainers that KSI did.
Yeah.
But there was always talks and speculation about him not training as hard and being lazy, not taking the diet properly, and just the road work and everything, right?
Which does show, even with professional fighters, if they cut corners, it does show, and especially being a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Which does, I mean, like, is this what, like, UK vs USA card?
Yeah. So this card now.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Showstar Boxing now.
Yeah.
This card is all UK fighters versus all US. But like I was saying, I think this is Deji's time. Like, he's the main event. It's his time to show people he's taking it seriously, and that he wants to. I think he does want to continue doing like the YouTube style of it. I don't think he wants to get to the level of Jake Paul where he's trying to fight on main cards, like big boxing cards. But yeah, I think this is his time. Like, if he doesn't do it now, and I want a knockout. I don't want no points victory. Yeah. It has to be a knockout. Like, everyone's seen that he has the power. I think like they say that he's kind of naturally athletically gifted.
Yeah, but it's just about putting the tools together.
Yeah, it's just putting in the work and getting the output.
Obviously, like, this is just a side note, but like, do you think maybe he's trying too hard to follow like his brother's footsteps?
Well, this is what they say. They call him the little brother, right? So it's like he's in the shadows.
Yeah, we're talking about KSI, by the way.
So we're talking about KSI. KSI is huge.
Yeah, but he's sort of sidelined. I mean, he had a recent podcast saying that he wants to fight, but he's got so many commitments happening.
Yeah, like he does the music, he has YouTube, like he has multiple businesses. Yeah. So I think he was saying, in order to find time to commit to boxing, he was saying he's looking at 2023.
Yeah.
So by then, we don't even know if Jake would have lost or whether he would be continuing. I think KSI's main goal is to get back into boxing to beat Jake. And I think that would be like the ultimate fight, right? If Jake was unbeaten, KSI gets back into boxing, and then that fight happens. Obviously, KSI and Logan are now boys because they came up with their new drink. And then Logan's brother is obviously Jake, so it's like there's a lot of conflict there as well. But yeah, no, I think this card, we have...
Talk to me through the card.
So we have 4 fights on the card so far, right? So we have Deji versus Alex Wasabi. Yeah. Alex Wasabi, he sparred FuziTube. So I don't know if you ever remember FuziTube fought Slim.
I know FuziTube,
And that was the biggest meme fight. Like, he got messed up. But in the build up to that fight, Alex Wasabi sparred Fuzi. Yeah. And FuziTube hit him with a 1 punch, with a hook, and he knocks him out cold. Okay. So from there, everybody thought Alex Wasabi was like a joke. Yeah. Because around that time, he was also trying to call out KSI.
But wouldn't you think, like, if you're training for a fight, you would fight, like, at least semi-pro fighters? Because you know what? I feel like sometimes where, like, fighters, they post out these clips stuff. Yeah. It's more just like a bit of a promo.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but then again, you have to think like you could train for. So say if Deji was to train for this fight, but he sparred all professionals. He's going to be training at a level where their standards are higher, but this guy Wasabi is not going to come in fighting like a professional. Yeah, he's going to be coming in reckless, like,
unorthodox.
You got what I'm saying? So I think it's better that they fight someone with low experience, so that they can kind of adjust to it. But yeah, I mean. A bit of some sparring footage came out recently of Wasabi, and he doesn't look too bad. Like, he looks quite quick. He's hitting his shots.
I think it'll be interesting because I feel like, from what you've said and from what I've seen as well, the pressure is all on Deji to prove everyone wrong. So let's see how he handles that.
Yeah, I mean, also being the main event, it's going to be natural pressure.
So who's the co-main event?
What would you? Okay, so the co-main event is King Kenny versus Face Temper. So this King Kenny guy, don't know if you've heard of Beta Squad.
I've heard a bit.
Like Chunks' team. Yeah. So he's part of their squad. Yeah. And then Face Temper's part of FaZe. Okay. So this fight, people are saying that this could be better than the main card. Okay. Just because he started training, I think, quite recently. Yeah. But the sparring footage that's come out, he's looked quite decently. I think we should do a video on it. But the sparring footage that he's put out, he's looked quite decent. Like, quick on his feet, he's throwing quick hands, hitting his shots. And then Face Temper, he's supposed to have a naturally... he's trained combat sports before. Okay. So he kind of has that bit of experience. So, again, like, this is another fight which these two haven't fought before. Like, they had a fight for Beta Squad.
Makes sense.
And they did, like, little boxing fights between each other. And he fought Chunks in the final. And Chunks, like, kind of whooped him. Okay. But I think from there, he's taken it seriously. Obviously, he probably knew about the event coming up. And he's tried to take it quite seriously. So, again, I think this is going to be an interesting one. Because I think Face Temper's taller than him. I think he's in the 6 foot range. Okay. And I think King Kenny is kind of like just under 5'10" or around that.
That'll be a reach to sort of manage, I guess.
Yeah, so it's one of them fights like you don't really know what the outcome's going to be. I think with the Deji fight, it's going to be power against Wasabi's pace.
Yeah.
I think that's where that fight's in the head. Whereas this one, I feel like we might see a bit of more of a technical fight.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that fight out of the two.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll get more of a technical fight. Moving on to the third fight, KRISTEN HANBY versus VITALY.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The first sight I saw KRISTEN HANBY, I thought that was Jake Paul.
He does look a lot like Jake Paul.
He does look like.
He's got the tattoos. He's doing the same mouth gestures.
I have not heard from VITALY from a long time. Is this like sort of his comeback, trying to make it? Because he was known to like those, those gold trigger pranks and stuff like that.
So I think VITALY was another one. He called out KSI.
Okay.
I think most YouTubers were trying to get onto the hype of okay, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
This is how people are getting famous or like getting the limelight.
Mm-hmm.
And VITALY, he loves to be in the limelight. Yeah. He in the World Cup final. Yeah, he did a prank.
Yeah.
He did all of that.
He's got a lot of lawsuits around him, I've heard,
Yeah. So I think this could potentially be a comeback. Like, I think VITALY's always big in the industry, but his name has kind of died down. I've never heard of KRISTEN HANBY before this fight.
Yeah, same here.
I looked him up. He's like a comedy YouTuber kind of thing, like family content. So, again, all I've seen just from like a couple of clips, like, he's taking it very seriously, this KRISTEN HANBY guy.
Yeah.
Haven't seen anything from VITALY so far. So, I mean, they both look in good shape. So, I don't know. We don't know who's going to win that one.
Fair enough.
And then the fourth fight that was announced is Arms Corleone versus Minicon. So, the Arms Corleone fight is interesting.
Okay.
Because we saw him fight... What's his name now?
Bouncer.
We saw him fight Bouncer. It was supposed to be a boxing fight.
It got turned into MMA.
It got turned into MMA like a month before or something like that.
And then he got dragged on the ground.
And it was just on the ground.
Yeah.
There was nothing. No punches thrown. Arms, obviously, he holds a lot of muscle mass.
Yeah.
So, in order to hold that for that amount of rounds while Bouncer's sitting on top of you...
It's a lot of oxygen.
Like, you could see he was lethargic.
It'll be interesting because I know he said, like, he wanted to do boxing. So, obviously, I know he got a lot of hate after that fight. Yeah. Saying, like, what, you're picking up logs but you can't throw a punch.
Yeah. So, there was a lot. He got clowned on quite a bit.
Well, tell me about Minicon. Like, who's he?
So, Minicon, I believe he's a TikToker.
Okay.
Because he has about 1 or 2 million followers on there.
Okay.
He creates a lot of content on there. And this is the first heavyweight fight of the card.
Okay.
So Arms Corleone, don't quote me, but he's definitely above 6 foot. He's a big guy. And this Minicon guy is also very tall.
I think, it's going to be... I think as a whole for the social media side of things, it's going to be quite interesting.
And I think they're both... Arms has been in the gym training his boxing.
I've always seen him in the gym from Instagram.
Yeah, and he's taken this fight very seriously. And I saw Minicon recently. Yeah. He's also been in the boxing gym.
Oh, there you go.
Like, obviously, it's easy for these guys to accept a fight, and then you could just lose motivation and just say, I'm getting a paycheck. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go in there and just do what I need to do. Yeah. Get the money and get out. Do you get what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
When people get clowned online, it's for a short period of time. Obviously, that lives with you. But when they're getting their big paycheck, that's kind of what motivates some of these fighters. And you've seen it in previous social media events when it comes to boxing. A lot of them come, they do dances in the ring, and that's where a lot of boxing purists have hated this becoming a thing.
I think with the boxing purist side of things is that you have to, like, for instance, a young professional boxer who's trying to make it even to the professionals, the main thing, as much as like you might have the skills, you have to get people on the seats. Yeah. And that's what these guys are doing. Exactly. So it's just like a bit of like push and pull. Like, I know a lot of people are like, it's a shame to box and this and that, but like you have to realize promoters won't even, if you're not selling tickets, if you're not selling seats, if you're not promoting yourself.
So this is the crazy thing about these YouTubers and these social media stars. None of them have promoters. Yeah. They are literally their own promoters because of their presence online. Yeah. And the way they sell themselves, the way they sell the fights.
Well, there you go.
They're just naturally gifted in that department. So people like, obviously Eddie Hearn promoted the Gibb Jake Paul fight. Yeah. And I think after he saw, because Gibb came into that fight and like obviously kept doing that crab thing. Yeah. And then I think from there, Eddie Hearn was like, yeah, I'm not getting involved in this. But
I think if the money's right, he'll probably get involved.
Yeah, I was saying, if KSI Jake was to happen, I feel like Eddie will try and get into that.
So where is this fight happening?
So we're going to this fight.
Yeah. Oh.
It's in Manchester, and it's on the 5th.
It's in Manchester or Wembley?
Wembley. I figured on the KSI fight. Okay, it's in Wembley. It's on the 5th of March.
Yeah. How's the tickets like? Apparently there was like, had they not been sold out?
They're not sold out, but they've sold quite a few.
Yeah.
And the pricing isn't that bad. Like it's decent. So yeah, I think it'll be an interesting.
I think it'll be interesting. I think you should respect anyone that gets into the ring. I do think like if Deji loses, you should just.
Yeah, I think he knows this as well. Yeah. Like it's now or never. Like I've seen a bit of his training videos. Like by the looks of it, obviously you can do anything in editing.
Yeah.
But by the looks of it, he is trying to go all out for this fight.
So it all depends on this fight for him. Yeah. Oh god, it must be really pressure being KSI's little brother, to be fair.
And that's exactly why he's trying to do it.
Yeah.
But as content comes out, we are going to try and cover it. Mm-hmm. Sparring footage. Like I said, there's a King Kenny face plus sparring footage, so I think it'll be good going through that. And we'll wrap it up. If you did like this video, be sure to check us out, subscribe, and we'll be back shortly.
See you guys later.